list. Here's the deal. The list is fluid.
I know it's fluid. I know all of that.
I'm glad it's fluid.
I think he's confused.
The list is fluid. It's fluid. It's fluid.
Only recency bias, Batman.
Because you done lost your mind.
If it's so fluid,
Yes,
how
I
are we
did.
not considering the Bills?
You can come back because the list is fluid.
You know how he gets away with all of it? It's fluid, man. It's fluid.
You're biased, Jeff Saturday. You're biased.
You can do what you need to do. It's your list.
This list is bananas.
It's fluid. It's fluid. Yeah. I've been waiting for this segment right here. These brothers don't know what time it is. They don't know what time it is, but I'm about to educate them. All right, you ready for the list? Stevens A-list, the top 5 teams in the NFL after this week. Let's get right to it. Give me number 5, please, on the list. Bam! The Kansas City Chiefs. Why? Because they got Patrick Mahomes, you got Tyreek Hill, you got obviously Travis Kelce. Their defense has elevated. It has improved. They got their mojo back. They're in first place in the AFC West. We good with them. We good with that, all right? Plain and simple. They top 5. Let's get to number 4 on the list, please. Give it to me right here. The New England Patriots. Do I have to tell you why? 6 straight victories. I mean, they 8-4. They in first place in the AFC West. The number 2 seed in the AFC right now. It is undeniable. Bill Belichick doing his thing. Mac Jones. He might not be mac and cheese, but he Mac Jones, all right? The defense is all that and a bag of chips. We got to pay attention to the New England Patriots. Let's go to number 3 on the list, please. Give it to me. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why? They are the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions. They got Gronk back in the house. They go into Indy. It ain't their fault that Frank Wright forgot to damn run the football for crying out loud. It ain't their fault, but they handled their business, dropped 38 on them. Give them love, give them credit, okay? Right now, we gonna leave him at number 3. When Antonio Brown comes back, we'll revisit that. Let's go to number 2 on the list, please. Give it to me, the Green Bay Packers, because Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. And obviously, you got Cobb, you got Valdez-Scantling, you got Devontae Adams. Lazard came back. Aaron Jones, they only ran for 23 yards, but him with Dillon, you got everything you need. And Bakhtiari ain't even back yet, okay? All right, the bottom line is they handled their business against the Los Angeles Rams, but not the way this team did. Number 1, the team with the best record in football, the Arizona Cardinals, okay? Because I thought about the Packers and what they did, but then I remember what the Cardinals did to the Los Angeles Rams. I thought about Jeff Saturday coming, sticking out his chest, questioning my list. I thought about Keyshawn sitting up there flying in from LA to try to make them. I thought about Mina Kimes jumping into the equation, trying to get at me. And of course, Molly Karen Rose. Oh, I'm loyal with her UConn loving self. But this list right here, nobody can question this. Number 1, the Cardinals. Number 2, the Packers. Number 3, the Bucs. Number 4, the Patriots. Number 5, the Kansas City Chiefs. All of y'all stand down. The mic has been dropped. Floor is yours, Jeff.
This is a pretty good list, man. I ain't gonna lie. I like your list. I would reverse these 2 because in case you're confused, they played without 2 of their offensive stars. And they won.
Yeah.
At their place.
Yeah.
At their place.
Flop that.
I mean, yeah. Flip that. But you had the best record in football.
That doesn't matter.
They played each other.
And when you think about it, they both beat the Rams. Okay.
Yes.
They both beat the Rams. They beat them head to head.
Yeah.
What I would do, Jeff, too, as much as I like the Patriots, I'm going to have to slide them to 5 and bring up the Chiefs.
You got to be crazy.
I just got
You got to be crazy.
That's just me.
That's just me. That is just you.
That's just me.
That is just you.
Because I just think that the Chiefs have been rolling and they starting to get things settled on the defensive side of the ball, and we saw what they did the last time out. So I'm just saying, doesn't mean this is wrong. I just would swap it.
Yeah.
These 2 for sure.
Definitely
100%.
swap those.
100%.
Yeah. Stephen A., they played each other.
Weeks ago, man.
Mina, get in here.
6 weeks ago.
Let Mina get in here. I'm with Saturday. You had me until, you were going from 5 to 4, and I was nodding, and I was, ready to agree with you. But then you had the Packers at 2, and that's where you're wrong, because Stephen A., you alluded to it. The Packers are getting reinforcements. I mean, they have done all of this without the best left tackle in football, or maybe the second best, Trent Williams, Zadarius Smith, Jair Alexander. They're getting those guys back, and they still look awesome and balanced. I just think there's a better team, and I can't trust Kyler to stay healthy. I'm sorry.
But I was about to say, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, where are they at? Witness protection, because they haven't been there. So if you're going to punish them, they got the best.
They lost to them,
So that was weeks ago.
That's what you say. It's
you needed a haircut weeks ago.
You said it's fluid. It's fluid.
That's right. It's fluid.
But the problem is, it can't be fluid if they're the best team because the Packers literally beat them. Come on, Molly, help them.
Stephen A., do you think Kyler Murray will be healthy between now and the Super Bowl?
You punish people from head to head.
All politics.
No.
In all seriousness, this is the best list you've had in months.
No, by far.
Not even kind of maybe.
It's a B-
Not even
for sure.
kind of maybe.
A B+.
Where I flip a couple, but you're not missing anybody.
Yeah.
No, that's about right.
You know what you're doing.
This is the first time at least you got the 5 best on the board. I mean, for you, that's a huge step up.
You're learning. This is progress. That's what I'm talking
Just think about it like this. Last week we had to give you a reset. Like you literally had to reset the whole thing. So just think how far you came in only 7 short days.
I'm
you
proud
working on it?
I'm proud of you.
You know what?
What are you mad about, my outfit?
Really, Mina? Really? That's it? That's what we doing, Mina?
Yeah,
that's what we doing?
Good job. That's the right order.
Baby clap.
And his mind might be on that Oklahoma job, too, so you got to watch them. His mind might be thinking about Oklahoma.
You really think that Kingsbury would leave Arizona for the Oklahoma job?
Hey, he left it open-ended. I don't know if that's negotiating or not.
Get out of here. Get out of
here. He said it, not me.
He better not.
He said it, not me. I'm just saying.
Why would you save a shot?
I wonder why.
He didn't
what
shoot
a
it down.
mystery. Why would Cliff Kingsbury want that out there?
I don't know. More money, I guess.
Throwing us a curveball. All right, we'll leave it there. Mina, thank you so much for being with us. I will see you on NFL Live and your 80 other shows and your podcast.
For you.
All right, we're in Seattle, 17-15, as the Seahawks drop to 3-8 this season. Washington just 2 games behind Dallas. Russell Wilson 20 of 31 for 247 yards, 2 TDs. The Hawks have now lost 3 straight and 6 of their last 7. Pete Carroll is at the podium.
I'm really proud of the way these guys keep battling and fighting hard and doing what we need to do to hit the heck out of people and make things happen when we get a chance. But the results just aren't coming, man. We can't get these games won, and I'm not accepting it, and I'm not taking a sideways step. I'm not stepping anywhere but forward, and going to keep driving to get the very next chance we get and go get a win and get going.
I haven't been in this situation before like this, but what I do know is I know there's only one way to respond, and that's with your head up, with your mind right. You know, everything in life isn't always easy.
There she is, Mina Kimes. Good to see you. I'll get to you in a minute. I know this one's a little, even though you're very objective professional, this one's a little personal for you. Stephen A., has Russell Wilson already peaked?
I don't think he's already peaked. I believe that Russell Wilson still has great years left in him. Mm-hmm. I just think he's miserable. And when you're miserable, it shows. It's hard to come to work. Let me be very clear. I mean, I don't have to worry about this stuff because I don't feel that way because I got enough of love for my peeps, okay? But when you are miserable, it's hard to come to work. It's hard to be enthusiastic about doing your job. Now, you're a professional, you do it. Got to do that. Got to be a professional at all times. But it's hard. And when you don't have that kind of chemistry with your coach that you once had, and it clearly isn't there, and you've made that very, very clear in the offseason by basically saying, could you get me the hell up out of here, please? Yeah. And that wish is not granted. You come back and you play the role like, I never asked to be traded. But your agent literally gave a list of names for the public stratosphere to hear about exactly where you were willing to end up if you didn't stay in Seattle. That has a rippling effect. Now, obviously, he got injured and he was out for a couple of games, and we get all of that. I will remind you, it's the same Russell Wilson last year that threw 40 touchdowns. He's now at 12 this year. Their offense looks pretty anemic. They don't look that interested as far as I'm concerned. And leave it to Mina and Keyshawn to get into the minutia of it all. I watched the game last night. I saw him throw that late touchdown pass, but couldn't convert the 2-point conversion. I get all of that. What I'm saying to y'all is this. I believe in Russell Wilson as a talent. I don't believe that Russell Wilson has nosedived. I just believe that we're looking at a dude that basically has filed papers for a divorce. The divorce isn't finalized. He's still stuck in the marriage that he don't want to be in, and he's got to look the part until he's fortunate enough to get the hell up out of there. That is what I believe I'm watching.
So, Stephen A., I've never been divorced, lucky enough to say that, but as I understand it, it doesn't absolve anyone of checking out of their marriage so far in advance. And in this case, it doesn't absolve Russell Wilson of poor play just because he wants to leave. I mean, it's not about his feelings. It's about what we see on the field. Look, I have been as hard on this coaching staff as anyone. In fact, I remember a few weeks on this show, you saying I was out of my mind for suggesting they might consider a move. I've been hard on the front office. But at a certain point, you got to be hard on the quarterback. Dating back to week 10 of last season when they played the Rams, who I think set the blueprint for how to take away the deep passing play and taking out the games that Russell Wilson has missed so far this year. He has ranked 15th in QBR, 21st in completion percentage, and 24th in first downs per passing attempt. That is a 16-game sample size, an entire season, and I know he's been hurt. And I know the scheme isn't perfect, but you saw last night what I believe you've seen over that stretch of games, which is him passing up underneath options, trying to force the ball downfield. Frankly, average to below average play. And I think Russell can be better. I don't think he's peaked. And if it comes down to choosing between him and Pete Carroll or whoever, I take the quarterback betting that he can rebound to form. But you gotta hold him accountable for his poor play, not just recently, but as I said, over an entire season.
Well, before Keyshawn chimes in, I'd like to say something to you. You've never been divorced. I've never been married. So neither of us are an expert in the form of divorce. And I get all of that. But the one thing that I will say to you is that I don't recall using the word absolve. I didn't absolve Russell Wilson of anything. I'm simply pointing out there are rationales and reasons that come along with suspect play. I'm not saying that you should absolve him from it, but it is a reason.
It's a bad reason. I mean, if what you're saying is true, which is he's playing poorly because he's upset and he wants out, wouldn't you say that merits criticism?
I think that's horrible on his part, but what I am saying is this. You've covered this league exceptionally well, I might add, long enough to see how dudes play when they're miserable compared to how they play when they're happy. And you know that.
You know, I don't know if it's because he's mad, he's not happy, Stephen A. What I would say in all of this and watching Russell Wilson all the way back to the beginning of last year, up until the point that he got hurt, watching him over the last couple of weeks against Green Bay and now Washington, I believe he peaked. But doesn't mean that's a bad thing. It just means that he's where he's at, okay? He can come down. He certainly can get better. Some of those throws due to his finger and gripping the football, possibly so. But he is not playing good football. He hasn't played good football since the beginning of last season. Okay, that's why they went from throwing the ball as much as they did a year ago, Mina, as you know, to running the football. Because Pete Carroll and them saw, okay, we can't do this with Russell. We've got to mix things up. And on top of that, he got his way. He wanted a new offensive coordinator. He wanted to chime in and help make that decision. They allowed him to do that. And it's okay for him to be peaking. He doesn't have to be another 5 great seasons. He can be right where he's at now, clean some of the bad mistakes up that he's made, and still be a really, really good quarterback in the National Football League. And Seattle can still do great things. I think we all felt like he was headed toward MVP status based on what we saw for half of the season last year, and he has not regained that form. And it's okay. It's fine. Maybe he's on the move. Maybe there's a future giant in his life or something like that. Who knows?
New York Giant?
Well, it could be. I mean, who knows, Molly?
Okay.
But I think he has peaked, and I think it is time for a divorce in terms of Pete Carroll and him. One of them has to go. I don't think they can continue to ride this bus down the road in Seattle at all.
And I don't think we can ignore, Mina, what you alluded to and what Keyshawn alluded to some degree. Pete Carroll saw some things, and so obviously a level of belief had dissipated to some degree. Well, if you're Russell Wilson, who's carried this franchise on your shoulders for the last several years, who was an MVP candidate on at least a couple of occasions, who brought a certain level of moxie and talent and results to the table, and all of a sudden this guy is now looking at you and with a raised eyebrow, you're going to look back at him and be like, oh, you questioning me after you've been riding my coattails all of these years? I mean, that kind of stuff messes with your performance.
So Stephen, I just want to check. So earlier, again, I kind of alluded to, we had that debate about whether Seattle should consider a move from Pete. And at the time, both y'all said I was crazy for suggesting that should be on the table. Have you changed your mind?
I have.
I have too.
I have, and I gave you credit for that.
I have.
And by the way,
Mina, you're the trendsetter on the show.
But wait a minute. Don't let Mina off the hook so easily. We pointed out, Mina, how the 3 years, 2 years, last year, they had gotten better each year. So 2 games in, when Mina's like, oh, I don't know, it's time for a change.
She was ahead of the curve. She watched the team a little more closely.
Mina, what I saw last night in Russell Wilson, when you got your top dog and DK Metcalf out there,
catch a pass.
and he didn't touch a ball into the fourth quarter,
it's ridiculous.
at the end of the fourth quarter,
it's ridiculous.
Something is wrong. I don't know what the something is, but something is wrong.
That's right.
And if Russ is on the move, Stephen A., you alluded to this earlier. I'll close with this. The teams that his agent had thrown out where he'd be willing to go, that was Dallas, Vegas, Chicago, and New Orleans. And Key so astutely suggested the New York Giants.
By the way, Molly, before we get on out of here, I think it's important to say this.
What?
Seattle ain't going to be on my A-list.
Okay. Mina's staying around, and she wasn't expecting that.
Let's see that A-list.
So, let's carry on. Packers are heading to the bye week 9-3 and at the top of the NFC North, but it was no picnic getting there. Green Bay turned things around after being blown out by the Saints in week 1 while also having to deal with injury issues from key players and their star quarterback missing time for testing positive for COVID. Here's Matt LaFleur on the state of the pack.
I don't know if I've ever been around a team that suffered this many injuries. So, it is encouraging that we're sitting at where we are right now at 9-3, and having to battle through so much adversity and getting guys that maybe normally might not get as much playing time as they have. I think hopefully that'll benefit us down the stretch.
Jeff Saturday back here with us. Jeff, is Matt LaFleur the Coach of the Year frontrunner?
He is. And listen, when you think about what he's been able to do on the field, it's impressive. Now let's take it off the field. Think about all the craziness and distractions that we heard all summer long about Aaron Rodgers. Would he play for this organization? He can't stand the front office. They have all kinds of battle. They're embittered. He's out there taking vacation pictures. He's dealing with all the stuff he's got going. And still, Matt LaFleur just held constant, held steady. Then we got the COVID issue, right? Did he say it? Was he trying? Was he trying to be sneaky about it? All these different things, all in the media, everything blew up on him. Everybody was coming at him. What did Matt LaFleur do, Stephen A? Steady and calm. Just kept the ship headed in the right direction. All their guys are banged up. They're injured. They're going to have to go play in Arizona, undefeated, the best team in football right now. You had them on your Stevens A list, top shelf, blah, blah, blah. Walk in there, handle them a loss. That's what he does. Continues to win. You look at what they have done without Jair Alexander, their best defensive back, Zadarius Smith, their best pass rusher. You've seen their running back have to go down. You've seen their star quarterback go down for COVID. You've seen all kinds of issues. The one constant in Green Bay, Coach of the Year right now, because we still got some football left, Matt LaFleur.
Go ahead, Keith. I see Matt LaFleur without Aaron Rodgers against the Kansas City Chiefs.
How about that?
That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to say that.
Kansas City's got Andy Reid. I'm just
going to say that I seen him without Aaron Rodgers, so I don't know that he's Coach of the Year. Whenever me and you got Aaron Rodgers, we're going to look a whole lot better. Cliff Kingsbury, every single year, has gotten his team a little bit better. They started off, 5-10? With him coaching, he missed the one game. Then all of a sudden they go 8-8, 9-2 now with the number 1 seed in the NFC. Won 2 games with Colt McCoy. Need I say more? 2 games without DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray.
Let's be
careful
with the division opponents that haven't played. Okay,
but it doesn't matter who they play.
Okay,
It's the National Football League, as you know, Jeff.
All right, but Seattle.
Given the fact that he's able to do this without his starting quarterback, never mind who they played, and out his main weapon, never mind J.J. Watt, who's not the same, isn't there either.
Right.
So when you start to put this together and you look at it, he's answered the bell in Arizona. He's answered the bell for me in Arizona as of right now. They got to finish the deal, though.
Far more profound argument on your part than on yours.
No, sir.
I mean, thank God that wasn't an A list. You would have got a D. Please, Matt LaFleur, spare me. You know, it's really hard. It's really difficult with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's just a hard. Is
it a horrible Kyler Murray?
It's a hard.
He's missed 3.
He won 2 games with Colt McCoy.
Yeah, with a good team, based around the most physical team probably in football.
McCoy.
I mean, y'all listen, y'all hating up here on Matt LaFleur. I see you.
Gentlemen, I think I'm going to trump both of y'all with this one now.
I don't know how.
I'm doubting it. Doubting it very seriously.
How about Bill Belichick?
Oh.
No, I can't.
Hold on.
No.
I let y'all speak. Hold on.
Okay.
Rookie quarterback. Last year, they didn't make the playoffs.
Okay, that's good.
8 or 9 of your dudes don't show up to play because of COVID. Cam Newton's your quarterback made the decision during training camp. Cam Newton's going to be up, preseason rather. Cam Newton's going to be up out of there. I'm going to go with my rookie quarterback. They got cats like Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, a first-year player, giving them a vaunted running attack. Nelson Aguilar looks relevant. Bourne all of a sudden looks like a receiver. He's balling. I mean, I'm just saying. And you got a top 7 offense. Top 7. Okay? Defense number 1. Number 1 defense in the NFL. Okay? Number 1. Okay? Number 3 against the pass. On top of it all, they in first place. They the number 2 seed in the entire AFC conference with a rookie as their quarterback.
Everything you said.
With everybody acknowledging this is one of the greatest jobs that Bill Belichick has done. I'm saying Matt LaFleur.
Yes.
Yeah, you got me on that one, though, Jeff. I usually agree with you.
Really? Nah.
But here's what I would say about Belichick.
It's every year, bro.
That's what I'm about to say. I'm about to say.
Low-hanging fruit.
Tom Brady was there 8 days this time. But LaFleur's got
because you were one of those guys who believed it was Brady or Belichick. I always believed it was both those guys.
I always said both. No, that wasn't me that said one or the other. I said both.
That was you.
That wasn't me either.
Okay?
It certainly wasn't me.
It's like default. It's like a default. Oh, we're just gonna go Bill Belichick.
Sergeant Friday. That's what we call him. Sergeant Friday. Sergeant Friday. You are wrong.
That's too easy. That's like who's the best basketball player right now? Come on, man. Like Bill Belichick. That's
every year though. But check this out though, Stephen A. You went through the whole litany of stuff from a year ago, right?
No,
you did. No, you went through everything they went through last year to get to this year.
Okay.
You do realize he spent $300-something million to get to that point.
Did he make that decision?
Hold on.
Did he make that decision?
Don't go there. We ain't saying GM of the year.
All right.
He spent all that money to go get Bourne and Aguilar. Okay, and Matt Judon. Come on, man, stop.
What's the problem?
Jackson at the corner spot.
What's the problem?
Stop.
What's the problem?
I'm not saying he's not, but he's not more worthy than Cliff Kingsbury right now.
Matt LaFleur had to get Aaron Rodgers back on the squad.
Oh, please.
He had to go out to Tampa. He had to go to Hawaii. Why had to go on vacation with him?
Look at the drama. Frank Valentini is the executive producer at General Hospital. I called him and asked him about a role for both of y'all with your drama. He'd actually consider it because I'm telling you right now, it's nonsense. It's on it. That's right. The drama quit. The drama
and
came.
You act like David Harrison is a scrub at running the ball.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying to you is this. At the end of the day,
he got pieces.
Hold on. At the beginning of the season, when you knew that Bill Belichick spent that money, did you have the New England Patriots winning the AFC East?
I did, but here's the only caveat to it. I thought the quarterback was going to be Cam. That's the only caveat to it. And when they switched, I said, this 2001 New England. I see when they switched.
I did not.
I said 2001. Once they spent all that money,
Yeah,
I knew
still love the
that
Bills.
they was going to fight it out.
Come on, man.
But it's like,
Okay. Agree to disagree. We'll revisit this conversation.
Good job, Matt. Way to keep
LaFleur,
holding together.
Kingsbury, and Belichick. When we come back, we're going to. The Lakers have not lived up to expectations of late. Obviously, they've been without their best player in LeBron James for 11 games, dealing with that ab injury. And though he has played in 5 of the last 6, he looked a bit hobbled late in the game versus Detroit on Sunday, but is confident that he'll play tonight against Sacramento. The Purple and Gold are currently 11-11, 7th in the Western Conference. The Lakers had the second best odds to win the championship at the start of the season. This is certainly not what Laker Nation expected of the big three of LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook. LeBron, what level of challenge is this season?
It ranks right at the top of any other challenge I've had in my career, which actually brings out the best in me, and I love that. I love trying to, figure out, how we can be better, get through the mud or get through adversity and, just make it sweeter on the back end. So, I feel like, we haven't even scratched the surface on what team we can be. And we're going to continue to get better and better as we continue to learn each other more and more, continue to work into our system offensively and defensively.
JJ Redick in the building. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Stephen A., is this season LeBron's biggest challenge?
I don't view it that way. I think that he's had incredible challenges throughout his career. I would still say to you that the greatest challenge of his career was when they beat Oklahoma City for the title that year, because it was fresh off of them losing in the finals to the Dallas Mavericks and the pressure that mounted on his shoulders. I'm telling you, as a person that covers the sport, it was nothing like it. I mean, we were all sitting there looking, and it was like, oh, you better get it done now. This is it right here. Legacy, everything. Even though he had a career, obviously, that was still, had more than a decade of, almost a decade of wheels left on it and all of this other stuff. The fact that they had assembled, and the fact that he had said not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5, 6, 7, and then they lost to the Dallas Mavericks, Dirk Nowitzki, who they were favored to beat. And in the same breath, it was Dirk Nowitzki, but there were times in the fourth quarter where Jason Terry was guarding you, and you did not abuse that man, even though I love the Jet. You did not abuse that man. It's LeBron James we're talking about. The heat that was on him, I'll never forget this, Key, JJ, following year, they down 3-2, and they got to go to Boston. Boston's got him up, got him down 3-2. Paul Pierce, KG, and the crew looking to close the deal, and we all descended on Boston. It was like, yo, this is it. This is it right here. You get bounced out from this. Ain't no coming back from this. And that brother dropped 45 and 15. When they show that photo of him looking like he a man possessed, for crying out loud, he was just in a different zone. It's because he knew at that moment in time, in my opinion, just covering sports, there comes a moment for a lot, not all, but for a lot of athletes, where winning will propel you to new heights, losing will sink you. You just ain't coming back from it. And that's what it looked like for LeBron at that particular moment. And I've always viewed that as his toughest challenge, because to me, it was like, if he didn't overcome that, I don't think he might have ever learned to become a champion.
Interesting.
See, for me, what I'm listening to him say right there is, it is his toughest challenge because of everything that Stephen A. said he got over. He won those championships.
Right.
So I'm through that now. Now I done went out there. I done asked for Anthony Davis to come. We won one. Last year we didn't even make it. We got bounced. But now I done went out and got Westbrook. I done brought the old band together into Dwight Howard. Now I'm bringing in Rondo. I got Ariza coming when he's back healthy. So I got all the old goods coming back. But I also recognize and I realize that we are not where we want to be. And it's going to be hard to get there. It's going to be challenging to get there. And everybody was doubting me based on last year coming into this season. Even though I assembled all these pieces and put things together,
that's the part
people
that's
are
hard
starting
for me.
to
There's so
doubt
many
him.
stars on that team to say this is the most challenging, and you've got AD and
But
Russ
you got
on your
it's
squad.
challenging, but it's
kinda
challenging
like
because
the
you got to
tiny
put it
violin.
together. You got to put it together, and it's not together yet. That's what he's talking about.
JJ, where are you?
The greatest challenge of LeBron James' career was bringing a championship to Cleveland. He had 5 opportunities to do that. That 07 team was completely overmatched. They were a little bit early. They didn't have the talent. All right. You look at 2014, he plays the Warriors, or 2015 rather, he plays the Warriors. Kyrie hurts himself. 16, they're down 3-1. That's the greatest challenge. LeBron has said it himself. He said it himself. It's the best championship. He thinks it's the best championship in history. That's arguable. But to him, that is his greatest challenge. And if you look at all the teams that he brought to the finals with Cleveland, other than 15 and 16, those teams were overmatched. This team right now with the Lakers has 2 future Hall of Famers on the team. This is not the greatest challenge of his career.
But why would he say it?
He didn't say it. Don't put words in his mouth.
But I'm just reading what he said.
It's right up there with the greatest challenge.
But we didn't
right up there with.
He did. That's how you didn't take it that way.
No, I didn't take it that way.
So
Not at all.
don't mince his words through your rose-colored glasses.
No, I think what JJ is saying as well as Stephen A., it is a challenge for him. But when you look at it, they're not playing good basketball. What are they, 500 right now?
500,
yeah, 500.
They're not playing good basketball.
7th in the West.
When is that going to happen? That is a challenge. I don't care how great the players are that's around them. They're not playing good. They're not playing good, Stephen A.
We talked about this off air a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we said, what is their ceiling in the regular season? And you guys felt that it was maybe a 3 seed, maybe a 4 seed.
Yeah. Well,
and I said they look like they're headed for the play-in game. Now, the way the Big Three have played the last 3 games, there's certainly an opportunity to move up in the standings.
Right.
But this is not a team that's going to be a top 3 seed in the West.
The Lakers and the Bucks family ain't spending whatever the payroll is right now to be the 7th seed or the play-in game. That's why it's a challenge.
But that's currently what it is.
But let me break this down. First of all, I would warn you to be careful about what you say about J.J. Redick because he got this podcast blowing up, and then he leaves and go talks about us. You understand what I'm saying?
Is that what you do,
we have to be careful. I got to show up and invade the podcast
Stephen
so I
A.
can correct him for the error. You know what I'm saying? I'll get him later. I'm gonna get him later. It's no worry.
What did I say on the podcast? I said you were one of, if not the most talented person on TV. Period. It was very flattering.
I appreciate the love, and I think you're one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. Ain't nothing but love here. But I remember I heard that interview with Mikal Bridges. We'll talk about that a little bit later. You're not getting away with that. Okay. But let me get back. Let me get back to my point. That's right. I got rabbit ears. Tell him. I watch everything.
He watches everything.
Here's the thing. You see, you got to be careful what you say about it because he's going to quote you now. But here's the deal. When you talk about LeBron James and that challenge, it's just a personal preference. I'm going to always hold that suspension of Draymond Green against LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Only from not his fault, of course. I'm talking about the league giving him that stimulus package, knowing that he was a guy to get bounced out in 5 back at the Oracle.
But you got to be fair, though, Steve, because Kyrie got hurt.
No. This is not the finals.
This isn't.
No, I'm talking.
You talking about the kick game
when they suspended Draymond and then Bogut and Iguodala got hurt. The game Draymond was suspended, and then it goes to 7 games. All right, and then they lose. All I'm saying to you is this. Think about what I just said, and you talked about Cleveland winning the championship. Of course, he's from Akron. It's 30 minutes away. His hometown. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They ain't won a championship in any sport over a half century. We get all that. We understand. But when you're talking about it from a basketball standpoint, JJ, let's go back to what I said. Think about this. You King James. You walking around with King James. You the heir apparent, okay? And then on top of it all, you land in Miami because you can't get the chip. And Boston takes you out, okay? And then you land in Miami and you with D-Wade and Chris Bosh, and you have a damn concert celebration. Not 1, not 2, not 3, all of this other stuff. And then you lose. It would be one thing if I said the pressure was on them because they went and that season, but they lost. And so to lose after all of that, and then and everybody, and at this point in time, no one was looking at D-Wade. No one's looking at D-Wade already had his chip. Yeah, we weren't looking at Bosh. He's your third wheel. We were looking at King James. This is the crew here in LA. You got a situation where Russell Westbrook's got to fit in. You're wondering about the durability of an Anthony Davis. Plus, he's at the 5 now instead of the 4 a lot more. You're looking at these different things, and you're saying, okay, they'll figure it out. And out of nothing but deference and respect to LeBron. Even though we pay attention to what's going on in the regular season, we all look at him and go like this. Is he going to make the playoffs, or is he going to be healthy? If he's going to make the playoffs and he's going to be healthy, we'll take it. Because that's how much we believe in him. Because he's so great, we ain't worried about really what's going on with him right now.
But is it?
But back then you were.
All right, I want to move on to the top seeds. You got final word here.
I just want to say it's a very valid point you're making about the burden of the first championship. Jordan had that. LeBron had that with the Heat. But to beat that Warriors team was the greatest team of all time. They were defending champs. They went 73-9.
That didn't make him the greatest team of all time, the greatest record. That didn't make him the greatest team of all time.
3-1.
He was going to go Jordan in Chicago.
You know what I'm saying?
He going to do that.
Talking about.
He was going to already go Jordan in Chicago.
I mean, they listen. They had the greatest record.
Can I go
the greatest? Come on.
All right, we'll debate that one another time. Let me get to the matchup we have tonight in the NBA's Wild West. Steph Curry and the Dubs in Arizona take on CP3, Devin Booker, and the Suns. So after starting the season 1-3, the Suns have reeled off 16 straight wins, 1 game shy of the longest win streak in franchise history. Meanwhile, the Warriors, winners of 7 straight, are just the 20th team in NBA BAA history to start a season 18-2 or better. JJ, will the Warriors snap the Suns' win streak?
They will. They will. All good things must come to an end. I think this win streak is coming to an end tonight. One of the things that the Warriors do particularly well is defend. How do they defend? They switch. They switch a lot of pick and rolls. The Suns' offense is based on pick and rolls, getting downhill, 8 and out of short rolls, making plays, ball movement, swing, knock down a 3. For the Suns to have any chance tonight, CP and Devin Booker, which they're more than capable of, are going to have to go ballistic in one-on-one situations and be incredibly efficient. I just think Warriors have a better chance to win this game.
See, I like the Suns being at home, especially. They pretty much even Steven. You still got CP3 and Booker. Obviously, Curry going to light it up. But much like you saying on the switching the pick and rolls, Ayton is down low. If he can come to the party and show something, then who's going to take care of him? Draymond? I mean, at some point.
Okay, on the other end, though.
Go ahead.
How are the Suns going to defend Steph's pick and rolls with Ayton on the floor? They're putting him in every pick and roll. Are they going to blitz? Now it's 4-on-3. They started using this thing where when they blitz with Draymond, they throw back to Draymond.
That's what I was saying.
He comes
But
back for a DHL.
if you blitz and go right out at Curry, he's got to give it up at some point, right?
Oh, and he does.
And
he's getting it back on a DHO with Draymond.
But don't stay right there. Don't move. Just stay right there.
He's on the other side.
You get your almost
We're going to bring up the
but you
tape.
get your butt on the other side.
Yes.
And when he go, you go.
I don't see Draymond or DeAndre rather is going to have trouble in pick and rolls tonight.
Okay.
Let me tell y'all something.
What you get ready to tell us?
I'll answer the question because I'm obligated to answer the question because it's been presented on First Take. But I'm really not interested in the question more so than I'm interested in the final result, which is that the Warriors going to win the chip. The Warriors going to win the chip. Ain't nobody beating them. I'm just telling y'all right now, okay? And I could see the Warriors, and I got the Warriors winning tonight in Phoenix. See, I could see Phoenix going to Golden State, going to the Bay Area, go to San Fran Friday and beating them because they play tonight and Friday. Right. I could see Phoenix losing tonight and then avenging the loss Friday.
Yeah.
I could see it being something like that. I just think the streak ain't going to 17. I think that the Warriors stop that tonight because I think the Warriors love the idea of just crashing the party per se. Now, we can't sneeze at Phoenix. Your boy Bridges shoot 39% from 3-point range. Can't ignore that. Okay, we got DeAndre Jordan playing for DeAndre Ayton. I'm sorry, playing for a new contract. Can't ignore that. He got a little attitude, little chip on his shoulder, playing like it. CP3 averaging over 10 assists a game. All right, he doing his thing, averaging 14.5 points.
Booker has arrived.
Well, I said that last year. Remember, I wasn't on your show last year. No, I wasn't talking about the show. I was talking about the finals. When I was talking about to me, he's Kobe Part 2. I love his game like that because I think he's clutch. I think the J is smooth. He doesn't panic. If he's on, he's on. He's off, he's off. But he's not fazed by anybody else. They're not doing that to him. Yeah. He does it to himself. I just think his offensive game is just smooth. His composure, I just love his style. Booker is special, but nobody is Steph Curry. Nobody. And this brother is the greatest shooter God ever created. You have to defend him from the moment he steps past half court. And I got to give a lot of love to Steve Kerr and his staff. Now, I'm a Mark Jackson guy. I've always wished that Mark Jackson was still, to finish what he started because he built the foundation there. But let's give credit where credit is due. I mean, damn it, all Steve Kerr did was take them to the championship, the NBA Finals in the first 5 years he coached them. Won 3 chips along the way. Should have been 4 as far as I'm concerned, J.J. Redick. Not for that stimulus package. But that's neither here nor there because Kyrie and Kevin Love did get hurt the first go-round. But in the end, here's what it comes down to. Their movement without the basketball, their selflessness, their sharing of the basketball, and just what they do instinctually. It's just everything is there from a pure basketball perspective. Even though they all know Steph Curry is the man and they defer to him, they also do what they do.
We're out of time.
I'm just good with it.
We'll react to this game, obviously, tomorrow. We're going to have much more in the second hour. JJ will be back with us more on this and more hoops. And it is Tuesday, which is 2 lost Warriors taking on the Red Hot Suns, who have won 16 straight. Devin Booker, averaging 25 and change points per game during this Sun streak, is tied for the 8th shortest odds to win MVP. Currently, our friends at Caesars have Steph as the favorite. This may be Steph's age 33 season, but he continues to put the league on notice that he's a perennial MVP candidate. He currently tied Kevin Durant for the most points per game and is averaging more three-pointers, assists, and rebounds than he did during his 2015-2016 unanimous MVP campaign. Someone that knows a little something about shooting, that'd be J.J. Redick. He's back here with us. JJ, tell me this. Can Booker catch Steph in the MVP race?
I love Devin Booker.
Okay.
One of my favorite players in the NBA. This is a no for me, though. The people who vote on this don't even think that Devin Booker is the most valuable player on his team. You look at last year, right? Another great year for Devin. They have a great season. Chris Paul gets second team All-NBA. Devin's made 2 straight All-Star games. He's going to make his 3rd this year. A better question is, can he make his first All-NBA team this year? My favorite advanced stat, or one of my favorite advanced stats, is win shares. Steph currently sits at 1st in the league in win shares. CP is 9th. Their teammate, Mikal Bridges, is 23rd. Devin Booker is 44th. I just don't see him closing the gap and winning MVP this year.
Oh, good. Because that means you're brilliant at what you're doing. You're paying attention to me because that's exactly what the hell I'm going to tell you. He ain't catching no damn Steph Curry. We love Devin Booker, and Devin Booker's got a bright future ahead of him. And me personally, in all honesty, got a lot of love for Monty Williams as well. He's my coach of the year last year. We know what he brings to the table. I just feel like for at least the immediate moment, their window was there. And even though they're winning crazy right now with 16 straight, I think their chance to win the title was last year against Milwaukee. He ain't win the title this year. I don't believe that. And I love me some CP3. I don't believe it. Devin Booker's the truth, no doubt. But Steph Curry's just on another level. And when you consider the fact that he is the babyface assassin and he's got the rep and the game to go with it. Plus, he's older now. And on top of it all, there is no Clay. And he's still doing what he's doing. Yep. And everything that you see the team do feeds directly off of him. The movement without the basketball, the sharing of the basketball, the selfless play, etc., etc. All of these things emanate from Steph Curry. It's like he's got tentacles and he's just touching everybody and, he's infecting them with all the right things. I think everybody that watches basketball sees that happening before our very eyes. And I think the only thing that would derail Steph Curry from winning the MVP is if somehow, some way, Klay Thompson came back and was so electrifying that Steph stood back and played the role of spectator, which he ain't gonna do. Okay, and that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Steph Curry, right now, is the best player in the world, and he's going to win MVP.
No, he should win MVP. Booker, cool, but we've seen Booker before.
Yes.
In the NBA, we've seen that guy, that flash, but you've never seen anything like that Steph Curry ever. I mean, it's like crazy just watching him. As he gets older, he gets better, and he's doing it. I don't want to say by himself, but you didn't expect coming into the year that Steph Curry would be dominating the NBA without his running mate, Klay Thompson, alongside him. He would still be playing well like he did last year, but record-breaking numbers, just doing things that's crazy, must-see TV. Like, people going to actually be tuned in to watch that game tonight, to see what Steph Curry is all about going up against Booker. And I agree with you as far as the Suns go. Last year was that year. They had an opportunity. The Lakers got knocked
Look
out.
at JJ's face.
The Knicks was gone, right? Yeah. So that was their year. This year, no so.
I disagree with both of you that their window has closed.
Phoenix?
Yes.
Well, I'm not talking about forever. I'm just talking about as it pertains to this season, right?
No, I'm talking about, this season. Right.
Okay. So Brian Windhurst this morning, great article on ESPN. Shout out to Brian on the Suns' clutch stats. When you get down to a playoff series, Game 5, Game 6, Game 7, winning time, the Suns have two of the most clutch players in the NBA. You can make an argument that right now Devin Booker is the most clutch player in the league. He's shooting 70% in clutch situations, 60% from three. Right. The two of them, their offensive rating in clutch time is 138.
People have a bad taste in their mouth because last season, how it ended.
What last season? Because he had 240 balls in the finals.
That was her words.
I'm saying how it ended.
Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you, JJ Redick.
Yeah, but Milwaukee was the best team in the league last year.
I don't give a damn. You know better. Listen, Giannis, man amongst boys, clearly a more complete team. They were down 2-0 in that series. What happened? Budenholzer heard your boy talking. Could you just play bully ball and just attack the damn basket? There's nothing they could do. They had DeAndre Ayton and Frank Kaminsky, and that's after Dario Saric goes down, okay? I'm like, just attack the basket and end this series. And that's what the hell they decided to do, and there was nothing that Phoenix could do about it. You couldn't stop the bleeding. I ask you a very simple, albeit rhetorical question, JJ Redick.
I want to hear it.
You trying to tell me that Steph Curry wouldn't have stopped that bleeding?
Oh, my gosh.
The Steph Curry, the Klay Thompson, where they wouldn't stop that bleeding. See, what I'm trying to say to you is this. Booker can ball.
Yeah, Booker, we've seen that before.
Star. And I get the clutch stuff during the streak and all of that other stuff. And by the way, he showed up for some games in the playoffs, too. He didn't melt beneath the pressure.
Closeout game versus Denver. Closeout game versus the Lakers.
Absolutely. Well, don't get us started with the Lakers. We know they were shelling themselves. And with Denver, Jamal Murray wasn't in there. Porter was still there before his back went out on him. And we wish him nothing but the best. But the bottom line is this. There's levels to this. That's like somebody going on the court. That's like somebody going on the court and shoot baskets, right? And then you think that you could shoot with JJ Redick. It ain't happening. It's not happening, damn it. They're just not you. You understand? You understand that? Devin Booker is great. He ain't Steph. Stop it. And you know it.
Okay, that's great. Basketball is a team sport.
Oh, God.
Basketball is a team sport. And we've talked about this every time I've come on the show.
Yes.
The Warriors are a great team.
Yes.
So are the Phoenix Suns.
I agree.
So are the Phoenix Suns.
This is levels to it.
But to say their championship window has closed is asinine. No, it hasn't.
It's not asinine. You said, listen.
They're a better team than they were last year.
You apologized to me last week. You're going to apologize again?
They're a better team than they were last year.
You're going to apologize?
Their ancillary guys have all gotten better this year. Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, Cam Payne, Cam Johnson, Landry Shamet.
We're talking levels.
Better.
And what I'm saying to you is that, listen, Phoenix is a championship contender. Phoenix is to be respected. What I'm saying to you is this. When I think about Brooklyn at its best, when I think about Milwaukee at its best, when I think about Miami potentially at its best, there's only one team I look at in the Western Conference and go like this. I don't give a damn who you put them up against. One. And that's Golden State. And you can't find anybody in the NBA that would disagree with what I just said. And you know it.
Why does the floor shrink when him and CP3 in a half-court set is on the floor together? Like last year, when you look at it, all of a sudden, the ball is in CP3's hands, and it's almost like nobody else is getting the shots off when they're supposed to.
Well, it goes back to what I said earlier about how Golden State will defend a lot of pick and rolls tonight, and they'll switch. And when they switch, and you've got a guy like Devin, and you've got a guy like CP who can operate one-on-one, you shrink the floor against those guys. I want to say one thing. I want to say one thing.
Problem to derail him like it did last year.
I want to say one thing to Stephen A. about last year's finals. I want to say one thing.
Yes.
You could make an argument that they're up 2-0, right? You could make an argument that last year's finals came down to two plays. Giannis's block on Ayton, which was one of the greatest defensive plays of all time.
Yes.
And Drew stripping Devin at the end of the game and throwing the lob to Giannis. That's two different games that could have swung either way.
The second, the
block was cute.
The block was real. No, the block was real.
Was cute.
He's right about the block.
Yeah, the block was cute.
The alley-oop after the strip and the alley-oop to Giannis, not so much. I mean, you had them in a hole, and they were coming. They were coming back on you anyway. So what I'm saying to you is that I don't view that the same way. But in the end, Giannis dropped 50 on you in a closeout game. He manhandled you. And you had no answer. I'm saying with Golden State, there's no such thing as no answer. They always have an answer. Always. And you know it.
We got to go. JJ dropping by to educate folks.
No, he did it. Not this time. No, he did not. He's good, but he did not. Not this time.
Speak for yourself,
No.
isn't that what you said earlier? It's her word. Yes.
Take that.
Yes, we appreciate
I love JJ, but I mean, he's going to apologize again.
We'll talk to you soon. Still ahead with all. In an interview released yesterday, Tiger Woods told Golf Digest that his days as a full-time pro golfer are done. This morning, Woods spoke publicly for the first time since his horrific February car accident at his annual invitational tournament in the Bahamas. Take a listen.
I'm very thankful to all the surgeons and especially the nurses who are the unsung heroes through all of it, who were there, by my bed and kept my spirits up, all my friends and family. There were some tough times in there. To see some of my shots fall out of the sky a lot shorter than they used to is a little eye-opening. But at least I'm able to do it again. That's something that for a while there it didn't look like I was going to. I'm able to participate in the sport of golf. Now, to what level, I do not know that. I got that last major, and I ticked off 2 more events along the way. So, I don't foresee this leg ever being what it used to be. Hence, I'll never have the back what it used to be. And clock's ticking. I'm getting older. I'm not getting any younger. So, all that combined means that a full schedule and full practice schedule and the recovery that it would take to do that, no, I don't have any desire to do that.
Stephen A., your thoughts on Tiger?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly happy in regards to 2 situations. I'm very, very happy that he's alive and well and able to have his press conference. Thank God that happened and he's still with us, because that was a nasty car accident. And Keyshawn knows better than me the area in which that crash took place. And he could not have been here. Yeah. So we're very, very fortunate to still have him with us. Number one, I'm thankful for that. Number 2, I'm thankful for his attitude, because I do believe it's pretty much over for him. It would have been nice to see him catch Jack Nicklaus. That would have been nice. All-time 18 majors. Tiger got one last one, number 15. And, we know what he went through all of those years in between his 14th and 15th major. And to be at a place right now where he's resigned to the fact that he's no longer what he used to be and he's never going to be that way again, it elevates his appreciation for life, what he's ultimately accomplished, how he's going to be able to receive his flowers while he's still here, per se, and smell the roses. But more importantly, it allows us to do the same. Instead of wondering about why he's coming up short or anything like that, we get to just look at him for the all-time great that he was. And even if he plays again, he's never going to be what he once was. But in our eyes, listen, I saw footage of Jack Nicklaus and whatever. As far as I'm concerned, Tiger Woods is the greatest I've ever seen. And that's what I'm going to always remember him as. And I'm happy that he's happy.
See, what I take from that, though, right there is he won't be able to play on a consistent basis, like he said. But I can't count him out just quite yet. Yeah. You know how that is. All of a sudden, he picks and chooses the tournaments that he plays in, and then he gets that one. And now he catches him at 18, 2-3 years from now. His leg will never be the same, as he said. He recognizes that. He sees that. But the good thing about everything in this situation that occurred with him, I think it really woke him up just in general about the perspective of life. Yeah. Being able to be around his kids, enjoy that more so than being focused, laser focused in on only golf. Because think about it, man, from the time that he was born to where he is today, all he did was golf. He didn't do nothing else. So now he gets an opportunity to share some of those things with his family and his kids even more now.
No, and he was so grateful also to all the nurses, to all the doctors, just very humbled. And like you said, Stephen A., sports is kind of a microcosm of life. So seeing how he's embracing and facing that adversity. And also, I just want to mention his golf tournament. He's also paying it forward, raised millions of dollars for underprivileged children and their educational pursuits. So he's also continuing to pay it forward. So it was good to hear from him. We'll keep it moving, guys. Plenty more reaction. The Tigers are just 2 years removed from a national title. LSU announced the deal this morning. Kelly has changed his Twitter biography and is now identifying himself as LSU's head coach. LSU announced Kelly has agreed to a 10-year deal, gentlemen, $95 million plus incentives on the West Coast. Keyshawn, Lincoln Riley leaving Oklahoma after 5 years at OU, set to join the SEC and is headed to Southern California to become the new head coach of your alma mater, the USC Trojans. Riley had a 55-10 record during his tenure. Here's Lincoln Riley at the introductory press conference.
To all the Trojan family, we're in this together. It's gonna take every single one of us to do what we have to do. We all have different roles in that, and I think it's important for us at this time to all pull together. And I can promise you that you're going to get the best out of myself. You're going to get the best out of our staff, out of our players, and we're going to put something on that field that you're proud of. And I agree with Chairman Caruso. This place is going to be full. This is going to be the mecca of college football.
Okay, Keyshawn, I'll start with you. More surprising news. Is it Lincoln Riley or Brian Kelly in their new digs?
Well, I would probably say it's Brian Kelly. If you could tell, I'm a little darker because I've been out west in that great sunshine, so got a little tan. But I would say,
But you back now. You back now in a little cold weather.
But I would say it's Brian Kelly because when you look at it, I didn't expect for him to go to LSU.
Okay.
If he was going to make any leap, you make the leap to the National Football League from Notre Dame, because Notre Dame is a prestigious program. That is something you can sell. I know everybody thinks, well, every team is on national television anyway, but every team made Notre Dame on NBC, every home game, no matter who you play. You can be on national television, but you got to go and be on the SEC network or the ACC network, not NBC. That's one selling point. On top of that, they can pay the money that LSU has given him because it's Notre Dame. It's just, it's mind-boggling the fact that you've been there 2 times, in the Final Four, once in the BCS championship. So you have shown that you have the ability to do that. You're going to LSU up against the big dogs now. This is different. This isn't where you can cherry pick the top player academically as a student athlete from a particular region. You're now in a bowl where everybody's coming to pick from.
Of course. That's part of the reason Lincoln Riley wanted to leave, because they were going to the SEC.
And so for me, I'm like, I would sit tight at Notre Dame, get my little $9 million, my $8.5, and be good and have a better shot at going and playing one of those teams, because you got to run through the granddaddy of them all, and Nick Saban. You got to now see him. You know, Ole Miss is going to give you a fight with Lane Kiffin. Tennessee is going to get better with Josh Heupel. Jimbo Fisher is a hell of a coach. Eventually, that's going to turn around at A&M. Texas is going to figure it out. You know, so it's a little weird and odd to me. I thought the jump would have been the NFL and not to LSU.
Interesting.
I was more surprised by Lincoln Riley, and I'm not dismissing anything that you're saying, although I will say this. Notre Dame, even though Brian Kelly was 113-40 over his years there, that's a 74% winning percentage essentially. The bottom line is Notre Dame ain't really, even though they've been in the playoffs, we knew they weren't going to win a national championship. We thought about Alabama, we thought about LSU, we thought about Georgia, we thought about Ohio State. We really looked at Notre Dame, and we said your championship is the fact that you got to the college football playoffs, but we didn't anticipate that you were going to be those monsters. But that's based on what
we've seen in the past.
No, I'm just talking about that's based on what we've seen in recent memory from the other teams. Notre Dame is prestigious as it is. Is it what it used to be, in my estimation? So I wasn't caught as much by surprise. I'm not trying to say they were not prestigious. They're on national television.
No, I get what you're saying.
I don't get
Let me jump in here. Excuse me, really quickly. Let's send it out to Notre Dame right now. Athletic Director Jack Swarbrick on the departure of Brian Kelly.
I was involved in a search for a new coach at the University of Notre Dame to lead its football program. And 12 years later, I find myself in that role again. The circumstances could not